to recovery in Puerto Rico has been slow because Washington has only released a fraction of the approved $20 billion in relief funds. The federal government blamed the delay on the recent shutdown. But after President Trump declared a national emergency to build his border wall, his administration was reportedly also considering diverting some of the relief money to fund it. Puerto Rico's governor said if that happened, he would sue. I sat down with the governor, Ricardo Rosselló, at the governor's mansion in Old San Juan to discuss Puerto Rico's future. Do you think the island, in fact, has gotten fair treatment from the federal government?
We don't get the same disbursement treatment as states. So the way FEMA works is that the state has the power to give the money. In Puerto Rico's case, it's still FEMA. It means that additional bureaucratic steps have been added to Puerto Rico, which have delayed the process. There is no justification for the delay on FEMA funding.
So technically, power is back, but effectively and literally for specific people who are still trying to deal with TARPs, of which they are all over this island, they don't have power back. What's the strategy to help people like that?
Well, for the people that have TARPs, goes back to our discussion of FEMA funding, right? And of getting the resources so that we can get those roofs back on.
I guess I want to hear what you would tell those, as governor, what do you tell those people? This is in FEMA's hands, not mine.
I mean, we've done with our resources everything that we can.
Let's talk about debt. Debt has long been an issue for this island, and I think the number's around 70 billion is what, that's an accurate number. So what's the strategy now to manage that debt with this oversight board making recommendations on that front?
Well, first we have to establish a fiscal plan. Fiscal plan has certain measures. We're committed to reducing costs. That was something we did even prior to the oversight board. That was part of our commitment, and we've done so. But
what got cut in that effort to reduce costs? I mean, universities, education, services are the things that people tick off.
The oversight board established that you needed to cut from the university, and there needed to be cuts in healthcare, for example, and some other places. For me, the priority is education. That is why I wanted to have an education reform here in Puerto Rico. I think that the way you move forward as society is if it's an educated and healthy society.
How many schools have you closed? 100 and?
Oh no, it's more. It's in the past 2 years, it's about 360. So
people might hear, listen, education is my priority. And I've closed just under 400 schools for a bunch of children, frankly, who were out of school for a long time in the aftermath of a storm, and say those two things seem completely contradictory.
Well, listen, Soledad, transformation is sometimes messy. And sometimes you have to make certain decisions that I know taken in individual format seem harsh, but the objective is, my objective is that I can give every kid in Puerto Rico the opportunity to have a quality education. They didn't have that in the past.
In October, after the storm, Donald Trump asked you, what's the death toll? And you said the number was 16. And then a few months later, you officially launched a recount. But that number, and saying that to the president pretty definitively, has allowed President Trump, as you well know, to declare fake news when people go in and actually start assessing the real death toll. Do you regret that you said that?
Did I make mistakes during the recovery and in the aftermath of a storm? Of course I did, plenty, and I've been very upfront about it. But at that point, truth of the matter, it was the only data, the best data that we have.
So with all of that we've talked about, and you're very blunt about the challenges, and I know you frame them as opportunities, are you optimistic?
Yes. So here,
why?
Here are the opportunities. Number one, the world got to see the people of Puerto Rico. I think that is the critical ingredient. If there's something I'm proud of, is the resiliency and the heart and the wherewithal of the people of Puerto Rico. But certainly, Soledad, and I need to end with this, the United States needs to address the colonial problem in Puerto Rico. There is no way that we can magnify this while being treated as second-class citizens. It is my view, and I would ask you kindly and ask everybody, that every time you have a decision maker in a chair like this in the United States, ask them what their position on Puerto Rico is. Ask them if they want equality for the people of Puerto Rico, and if so, what are they willing to do about it? And if we do it, I am convinced that this generation will finally eliminate 500 years of colonialism that Puerto Rico has lived and actually empower the U.S. citizens of Puerto Rico to be equal.
Governor, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Soledad. Thank you so much.